This video is to go over the multiplication law of complex number. So it says given complex number z equals a times CIS alpha and w equals b CIS beta, then zw equals ab CIS alpha plus beta. In other words, multiply the magnitude and add the arguments. So, but before we actually look into the polar form, let's look at the rectangular form. So let z be 3 plus 4i, w be negative 3 minus 3i. So zw will be this guy 3 plus 4i, and this guy negative 2 minus 3i. So this looks like complex. This looks like we can treat I as like variables. So we can use the box method that we have learned in Algebra 1. So we have 3, we have 4i, we have negative 2, we have negative 3i in the boxes. So in the middle box, we have 3 times negative 2. That should be the product of it. The product should be in there. So we should have negative 6 in there. And the middle right box, we have 3 times negative 3i, which should be negative 9i. Bottom middle box cell, we have 4i times negative 2. So that should be negative 8i. And the bottom right box, we have 4i times negative 3i, which is negative 12i squared. But we know I squared is negative 1. And so we have negative 12 times negative 1, which is just 12. So we have negative 6 minus 9i minus 8i plus 12. And combining like terms, we have negative 9i, negative 8i, which is negative 17i. Negative 6 plus 12 gives us positive 6, which can be represented, which can be graphed in the complex plane. Because 6 negative 17i is 6 comma negative 17. So let's plot the points, which should be right here. That's 6 minus 17i. So how do we multiply these 3 CIS 60 degrees and 7 CIS 3 pi over 2? Oh, here it says 2, so let's just do 2. 3 pi over 2, which shouldn't be there. So let's just erase that. We should have 3 pi over 2. 2 CIS 3 pi over 2. Okay, so the multiplication law says if you multiply this, then we just multiply the magnitude and we add the arguments. So magnitude of z is 3 and the magnitude of w is 2. So I'm sorry, this I should say let z equals this, and let's w be 2 CIS 3 pi over 2. So therefore magnitude of ZW should be 3 times 2, which is 6. And also arguments of Z is 60 degrees, which is pi third, and argument of W is 3 pi over 2. So argument of ZW should be argument of W plus argument of, argument of Z plus argument of W, according to the law says right here, right? See that right here? Right? So we're just going to add pi third to 3 pi halves. So if we do that, we definitely have to have common denominator. So pi third and 3 pi over 2, least common denominator of 3 and 2 is 6. So pi over 3 is 2 pi over 6. 3 pi over 2 will be 9 pi over 6, which is 11 pi over 6, which is 330 degrees. Or we can say negative pi 6 or negative 30 degrees. So where is it? So the complex number actually will be, so ZW, Z times W, which is 3 CIS 60 degrees times 2 CIS 3 pi over 2 should be 6 CIS 11 pi over 6. So how do you graph that? This should be 6, magnitude should be 6, so it should be 6 away from the origin, and then it should be negative 30 degrees, which should be here. So that is 6 CIS 11 pi over 6.